Today we're going to be reviewing the M-Audio M-Track 2x2 series. And at the end of this video I'm going to share with you my opinion and if you should buy this interface. Coming up. What's up expanders, my name is Mark Daniel and today we have another product review. First of all, I want to tell you that this product what we're reviewing today, the M-Audio M-Track 2x2 series, is almost identical to the M-Audio M-Track 2x2 M series. So it doesn't matter which one of these two beautiful interfaces you own, this review is going to cover both of them. So let's get right into it. As you can see, the M-Audio M-Track 2x2 series features a very big volume knob. I absolutely love this volume knob because it is very easy when I'm producing music or recording to change the volume. I don't like interfaces like the Scarlett that have a very small volume knob. I simply don't find it handy. This is one of the ones that I like, but again, this is a personal preferences. Let's talk a bit about the build quality. As you can see, the M-Audio M-Track series has a great build quality. It has an aluminum side, and even if I put a lot of pressure on it, I simply can't bend it, which is great. So for the build quality, this interface would get a 10 out of 10. On the back you will see that we have a Kensington lock, which is great if you value safety. We also have a USB-C input, which is where you will connect the interface to your computer, and it's also where the interface will get its power, so you don't need any additional power to fire up this interface. Now the M series has also a MIDI in and a MIDI out, which you will need if you want to connect external hardware instruments, which also have a MIDI or in or MIDI out connection. I don't really use this option, so I don't mind that my interface, because I have the M-Audio 2x2 series without the M on it, I don't mind not having this feature. But if you're using or you're planning to use external MIDI instruments, then you will need to have the 2x2 M series. The 2x2 series, the one that I have, has only one input on the back and one input on the front. On the back you can plug in either an instrument or your microphone, and on the front you can plug in only an instrument. Technically you can also plug in a microphone, but you're going to have issues with the noise, so just plug in, this is actually an instrument input, only use it for instruments. Now the M series has two inputs on the back and two inputs on the front. However, you can only use two inputs at the same time, that means simultaneously, for recording audio. On the back you're going to have two microphone inputs, and on the front you're going to have two instrument inputs. This is something to consider. With the 2x2 series you can only use one XLR input, that is most of the time for your microphone, or two jack inputs, which is used most of the time for your instruments. Now you can also use this type of connection to connect a microphone, but I don't recommend it because you might get noise, you might get static noise on the background, and that is something that you don't want. If you need to connect two XLR inputs, most of the times these are two microphones. If you absolutely need that feature, then I suggest you buy the M series. That is the biggest difference between the M series and this one. The recording quality is the same, the build quality is the same, all other functions are the same. The only difference is the MIDI and the extra input. Now, on the front of the interface, you will see a very big volume knob, which I absolutely love. Personally, I don't like the audio interfaces like the Scarlett ones because they have a very small volume knob, and when I'm producing music I don't even have to look at the interface, I just change it and I lower it, and if I'm recording I can very easily make adjustments, which is something that is not easy to do with other audio interfaces. On the front of the 2x2 series you will see that we have two gain controls, that is for input 1 and input 2. On the M series you're going to have again two gain controls, but that will control 4 different inputs, but as I said you can record only 2 different instruments or microphones at the same time, also at the M series. The only difference is that you can put two XLRs at the same time. Next to the interface we have the USB and direct knob. This means that you can monitor what's happening in your computer, the signals that are being outputted from your computer. And on the direct you can monitor what you're recording into the interface. So let's say you're recording your own voice, most of the times when I'm doing that I put this right in the middle, where I can hear also the music from my computer, but I can hear also my own voice at real time with no latency. This doesn't mean that this interface doesn't have latency. The only thing that it means is that you can track whatever input goes into the interface in real time without the added effects that's going to be added later inside your DAW. So for example, if you're recording your own voice and you decide to put a reverb on your voice, if you put this on direct, you're going to hear the input signal without being processed by the computer. And if you put it on the USB, you're going to hear that same signal with latency, but it's going to be processed and you're going to hear the reverb. Now, I cover latency issues and everything else on a separate video, and I'm also telling you how to hook up a audio interface on your computer and set the right latency frequencies and avoid issues. And when you need low latency or high latency, depending when you're recording or producing, I'm going to put this video somewhere here or here, so make sure to click it and have a look at it. Next to the USB and direct volume knob, we have also a volume knob for the headphones, and the headphone jack is right on the front on the right side. This is awesome. The headphone jack is a big one. You can use something like this if you want to plug in a 1/4-inch headphone jack, which is awesome. And right next to the headphone jack, we have the phantom power. Well, the phantom power is one of the reasons why I bought this audio interface, because it has a very good phantom power, not the best. You can find better phantom power than this one, but it is doable and it is acceptable for this price range. So the phantom power on this interface is absolutely great for microphones that require this extra boost. Only make sure that you have turned the gain on 0 when you open the phantom power, and please always open the phantom power and after that connect your microphone. Don't connect your microphone and then the phantom power, because that may cause issues with your microphone. Now, the main function of an audio interface is to convert analog signals to digital signals, meaning that if I plug in this XLR cable right here and I take the microphone that is right there, the USB, this is not a USB, this is actually a Shure microphone, SM58 if I'm correct. But if I plug this microphone inside this audio interface, it will convert the analog signal into digital signal, which then allows me to edit it inside my computer. That is the main function of an audio interface. Now, if you own a USB microphone, that means that you don't need an external audio interface, if that is the only reason why you want to buy an audio interface. If you're producing music, you probably want an external audio interface. If you're recording your instrument inside your computer, you probably want an external audio interface. But if you just want to record your vocals, not every day, but you just want to do that a couple of times for whatever reason, and then you can buy a USB microphone and you don't need an audio interface. However, I have found that microphones like the Shure I just showed you work much better than USB microphones, so I again would invest in an audio interface and an external microphone and ditch the USB microphones. Another feature I want to talk about is that this audio interface does not offer an RCA connection. An RCA looks something like this. This is the tip of an RCA, and that is what many speakers, not studio monitors, but that's what many speakers have as an input and output. Now, if you have an RCA, you can get an adapter, which is not this one, but it looks similar to this, where you can connect the tip of the RCA to something like this, which then will get inside the back of your audio interface, and then voila, you will have sound inside your speakers. However, if you're serious about producing or recording and mixing music, I would invest in a great pair of studio monitors. I will make a video for this one, so make sure to visit my channel and to have a look at the recommended videos and at the videos I've created, because I'm going to talk about the best studio monitors that you can buy. Make sure to download the drivers for the M Audio, that is from the official website from M Audio, and type in the M Track 2x2 or the 2x2 M series, download the drivers, restart your computer, and if you're facing issues with your audio card, make sure to check the device manager inside your computer. And lastly, this audio interface records up to 24 bits and 192 kilohertz audio. That is a very high setting. Most of the time you want to record at 44,000 and 192. I've never found it necessary to record at so high settings, but it is available if you need it. But what is my opinion? Should I buy this interface? Well, obviously I already own this interface and I own it more than 2 years. As you can see, I haven't even peeled the cover on it. But yes, I would buy this interface. The only thing that I don't like about this interface is the phantom power. You see, the phantom power is good, but it's not great. It introduces some static noise in the background, which is barely audible, but it is there. And if you have some microphones that are not of the best quality and they require to crank up the gain, like almost to the end, you're going to hear that on the background. Now you can remove that with different VSTs and different software inside your computer, but I've just found that the phantom power from the Odeon works much better. So yes, I would suggest that you buy this interface, but if you can, save up a couple of $200 or $300 more and buy an interface from the Odeon series. I'm going to cover the Odeon interfaces in a separate video, so stay tuned for updates. Overall, this Odeon interface gets an 8 out of 10, which is great for this price range. Thank you a lot for watching Music Expanders. Hit subscribe and see you next time.